All right, folks, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is episode 268 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller and just chugging right along. Another week is almost in the books. It is Thursday. And, just making content in this fashion just does make the week feel like it just flows a lot better. And it seems like the week goes by a little bit faster, and hopefully that's the case for you. Hopefully everything is going well for you this week. Throughout the week you got to work and all this other stuff, or if you're in school, and it gets kind of hectic sometimes. But it's Thursday, it's almost Friday. So with that being said, hopefully everything has worked out for you. So far so good for me. I cannot complain. I can't complain. Like I said, today is 268, the episode of the First and Frame Rate Show, and we're just gonna just talk nothing in specifics. We're just gonna really talk about both of these teams that I like to cover here, which is the Atlanta Falcons and the Georgia Southern Eagles. And can they turn it around? How long will it be before they turn it around? I have no faith. I'm sorry. I have faith that they will, but it's just how long is this process just going to take? How fast can it be? Is it going to be a 3-year process for the Atlanta Falcons? Is it going to be a 2-year process for the Georgia Southern Eagles? Or can they do it the next season? What can actually happen in all of these scenarios? We're going to talk about it because there's going to be some moving of some players. It's going to be some different faces that you're going to see at Georgia Southern. Atlanta is going to probably end up getting rid of Calvin Ridley and moving him on to another team. The offensive line probably going to have to be moved around a little bit. Probably not going to be playing as much. Probably going to see a few new faces up there as well. The defense, it's just a lot of things with the Falcons can change, much more than the Georgia Southern Eagles. But then again, when you look at the Georgia Southern Eagles, they went 3-9 last year. So, they went 3-9. So with that being said, it's going to have to be some type of turnaround there. And the Falcons overachieved. They went 10 and they went 7-10. Especially knowing what we know now, and we saw the type of team and the receivers and the offensive line we had. We probably had no business winning 7 games, but we did, and that was pretty cool. But that's not going to cut it. We're going to have to win at least 3 to 4 more games to be talked about in the conversation with the other teams and or playoffs. So that's just going to be the reality of it. So we're going to get into both of those really shortly. If you have been following this content, I really appreciate it. If you haven't decided yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you're on the YouTube side of things. Hey, even if you're listening to this on the podcast side of things, subscribe over there as well. So anytime when I put up a new episode, you'll be notified, or it would download automatically for you. Depends on what type of settings you have. If you're over here on YouTube, like I said, if you subscribe, with that being said, you'll get notified once I upload a video. If you hit the notification bell, also share this content. Let people know in Eagle Nation. Let people know that are Falcons fans. Let them know what I'm doing over here, because every day I try to put out content for you guys Monday through Friday. So let's go ahead and get into it. First and foremost, before I get into the turnarounds on how fast can it be, Coach Helton and company, coach of Georgia Southern Eagles, they're chugging right along. They're at 49 counties now. Last week, not last week, but yesterday, I think they was at 23. And then now they jumped up to 49 in 2 days. So he said in 2 weeks, they're going to cover every county in the state. Well, they're at 49 in 2 days. So this could be something that could have been done in a week if they really wanted to push it. If they really wanted to push it, they could have done this in a week instead of 2, because they're already at 49. So they're almost about 110 counties left. It is Thursday. So between Thursday and Friday, they're probably, I'm guessing, they'll probably hit 100 by the end of the week, or probably hit 100 by next Monday. They're doing really good. They probably may fall off and be a little lax on Friday, which is fine. I mean, nobody wants to do too much hard work on Friday, but if they keep going at the pace they're going, they probably will end up hitting 100 by Friday or 100 by Monday. Great job. So 159 is definitely not out of the cards at all. I mean, they're just moving right along. I am surprised when I look at this when I'm looking at this graphic. I'm still surprised they haven't gone to Chatham County yet. They went to all the counties around Chatham County, which is pretty interesting. Excuse me. Which is pretty interesting. They didn't go to Chatham County yet, so let's see how that goes. All right, nevertheless, let's talk about the turnaround. First and foremost, I definitely want to talk about the Falcons because I always talk about the Falcons last. Well, I ain't say I always do. I've been talking about the Falcons last lately, which I haven't been putting them in the forefront, pretty much because it's been pretty slow. All of the the news is just basically talking about what George Southern's doing, because around this time, usually, it's just NFL playoffs. You don't really hear about the non-playoff teams do stuff in college. If you pay attention, a lot of things going on in college. A lot of things going on in college. So with the coaches and moving and shaking, and people are going to different places and recruiting and transfer portal, which, JT Daniels is officially in the transfer portal now, and people are still talking about this man may come to Statesboro. Look, I'll be highly surprised. Highly surprised. And I know I made a video about it months ago. I'll be highly surprised if he comes to Statesboro. Like, I don't know. Stranger things happen, but if he does, I'll be like, wow, he's really coming here. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't see it. But nevertheless, let's talk about these Falcons. First and foremost, 7-10 last season. How fast can they turn around? I think with this Calvin Ridley trade, it's going to hinge off of that. And people are going to be like, okay, why would it hinge off of this? Because the Falcons already have 2 second-round picks. They have the first-round pick in the top 10. What do you mean by that? Well, there's already rumors saying that Calvin Ridley may go to an AFC East team. And there's already rumors saying that he may go to the Jets. Look like the Jets may want him. Like they like really want him. And if he doesn't go to the AFC East team, there's another rumor saying he may go to the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, both of these teams have first round picks. Obviously, I think the Eagles got 3, but the Jets aren't against. They're not against giving up that top 10 pick, and I think the Jets have I think they're 10th overall, 2 picks behind the Falcons. Listen, this would be really, really interesting if that was the case. If the Falcons can get the 10th overall pick from the Jets, let's say for instance, they get, they trade Calvin Ridley and give up, like, let's say one of the second round picks, for a first round pick for the top 10, that's significant. Now the Falcons going to be cooking with 2 first round picks in the top 10, and you can turn things around like that. Now, I've been one of these guys, and I'm going to have to eat crow. I'm going to have to eat crow when I say this. I've said this in the past. I said that there's no type of player, top 10, first round pick, that can change the dynamic of a team in 1 year. I've been on record saying that. And I want to sit and say I could be wrong with that, because I'll tell you why. There's plenty of players that came in the draft right away, and some of them haven't even been first round picks, change the dynamic of a whole team. And I'm talking about just one player. Change the dynamic of an entire team. You can look at, and this is an example not too many people really look at. Even though the team hasn't, they kind of underachieved. You look at the defense of the Washington Redskins. When they brought Chase Young in, it was a different team. You look at the Bosa brothers. When both of those guys came in, 49ers and Chargers respectively, they changed the dynamic of their team. Micah Parsons is another one, defensive player, changed the dynamic of the team. Patrick Mahomes, they moved all the way up. The Chiefs moved all the way up to get him. Change the dynamic of the team. And in some cases, these guys change the dynamic of a team in 1 season. Now imagine the Falcons do this with 2 first round picks. Not only 2 first round picks, 2 top 10 picks. So if they can get They don't necessarily have to get the picks from the Jets. Just say if they do get a first round pick for Calvin Ridley, there's a lot of talent here. There's a lot of talent here to the point where they can get two very good players. And even if they still keep one of their second round picks, which I'm pretty sure they probably will, if they keep one of their second round picks, they can get three good players, possibly like in the top 40. You can't ask for more than that. That is phenomenal. That'd be great. And it's one of the quickest ways that you can turn around this franchise, because you can get players that'll probably be ready to go right away. I said this last week. I said this yesterday. I'm really big on the Kobe Dean. I don't see how you I don't see how you pass on him. I don't see how the Falcons pass on him, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people still talking about Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson is another good pass rusher. They're talking about him as well. I can see them picking him up. A lot of people saying that he's surefire. You got to pick him or whatever the case may be. But I don't see picking Hutchinson over Nakobe Dean. I just don't see it. I could be wrong. Also, they're saying there's a lot of other pass rushers in the draft that are going to be just as good. This is a very deep and heavy pass rushing draft class. So I just don't know how that goes. But these two first round picks, you got to knock it out the park. If you do get, allegedly, if you do get both of them, even if you don't, whatever you do with this Calvin Ridley pick, because if you do trade him away and get a draft pick for him, you got to get something big time. Because not just because of his Calvin Ridley, it's just that you need to turn this team around. You need to find a way to turn this team around, and it's going to have to start in the draft. I do like the fact that Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith already taking the reign of saying we want to get the best player available. They're not trying to, pick up needs in the draft. They're trying to pick up needs throughout free agency, which is not a bad strategy. I like that strategy, actually, for you to sit here and say, hey, we're going to go ahead and get our needs for the veterans that are out there. So the needs, those guys already know what they're doing when they come in. So we don't have to have our rookies come in to be the need and have them try to do more than what they probably need to do. Case in point, you look at Jalen Mayfield. He was a need. They put him out there, and yeah, after a while he got a little bit better, but it was a nightmare season for him because he was thrown into a situation where they needed him to do something. It wasn't more of like, okay, let's say a Richie Grant situation where he could continue to watch and learn and get plugged in every now and then to play and get a little bit of experience. No, Jalen Mayfield was just thrown out there, and it showed. First few games, he was like, oh man. Then there were some games he did pretty good. Then there were some games where he backslide. I mean, you saw the ebb and flows of a rookie starting out, and that's just what happened. It's going to happen that way with any rookie, but when you're put in a situation where you're needed to do something, it could be very rough. Now, there's one of the reasons why if you want to get the best player available and you want these guys to just say, hey, go out there and play. We don't need you to do much. Just go out there and show off your talents. If you could get that in the first few picks with the best player available instead of picking a need, that's where you can see some really, really good results. I mean, I think Micah Parsons was one of those types. Chase Young, like I said, the Bosa brothers. You had other players that went out and say, hey, look, we need you just to be good. And when that was the case, that's what happened. So therefore, this is what needed to be done. I really feel that if we can get that together, that will be very, 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 important for the Falcons. If you like this content, hit the like button. Go ahead and share this. Let people know what I'm doing over here. Also, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the podcast avenue as well. Thank you guys for the support. You guys are great. Don't have much else to say on the Falcons situation. I just feel like those are the things that we're going to have to do if we want to turn it around for the Falcons. Now, let's jump over to the Georgia Southern Eagles before we wrap this up. The Georgia Southern Eagles is already on a tear right now when it comes to recruiting, picking up players. Transfer portal is in effect. You also have the coaching staff is here. I think the Falcons. I mean no, the Falcons. I think the Georgia Southern Eagles is going to end up turning this thing around in one season. And it just seems that way. It just seems like the Georgia Southern Eagles is already trying to put something together to have a winning culture and a winning program once again. 3-9 last year. You already know what happened. Whole situation with Gavin Adcock on the bus that contributed to so many things negative wise. Coach Chad Lunsford was let go. Um, it was just so much that has happened in that situation to where it was just a lot of turmoil. Coach Kevin Whitley came in as interim coach, did the best that he could. Uh, End up, you know, the team. I ain't gonna say the team spiraled out of control. It's just that you saw what was on display with the offensive defensive coordinator, and those type of things just did not work out too well. Coach Whitley could do only but so much. He was basically thrown in a situation to where it was very hard to succeed. Now, with that being said, Coach Whitley is still on the staff, which is very strategic by Coach Helton, getting him with that uh, Georgia connection where he can still have his hands into recruiting and getting players ready to come to the school, and he knows the high schools in the Georgia area. So really good to keep him. You bring in other guys in from Washington. You bring in a running backs coach from Tennessee. You bring in a wide receivers coach from Hawaii. Bringing some guys in from Western Kentucky. You brought in a lot of guys in here ready to go, and special team guys from the Citadel. I think we got some guys here that's really going to make things, look really, really nice for Georgia Southern. We end up getting a few quarterbacks. Got the quarterback transfer from Buffalo. People are still thinking that we're going to get JT Daniels. Like I said, I don't know. We talked about this earlier. I don't know if that's going to be the case. It would be, it would be different. It would be highly surprising, but I'm not really sure. I'm not sure. I the only, you know what? Let's back this up for a second. Let's back this up for a second. Let's really think about this. I don't think JT Daniels is on his last year eligibility. Cal Van Treese is. Does Cal Van Treese come in and play this year? JT Daniels come in and transfer. Let's say if he does, sits a year, plays next year for the Eagles. Because I think he still had like 2 years eligibility. I don't think he has. I don't think this is his last year eligibility. Just something to think about right there. That's just something that I'm not sure. I doubt it if JT is going to come in to transfer in City year. I just don't see that. But this is not his last year to say, hey, I have to play because it's my last. I don't think that's the case. I think he still has another year after next year. So if Calvin Treese does play next year, does JT Daniels come in behind him? I don't see it, but I'm just putting the scenario out there. I'm not really sure. But it's just something to think about. But nevertheless, you look at all the guys that are coming back. We talked about this on an episode earlier this week where we had all these guys from all these veterans, all these seniors, all these guys using their last year eligibility, all the defensive guys, the Justin Ellis's, the Todd Bradley Glenn's, the Dylan Springer, Amari Jones, J.D. King, Najee Thompson's coming. I think Najee Thompson has 2 years left. Justin Birdsong. You got a lot of guys that has a lot of experience coming back. That's going to be huge, on top of everything that's going on. So I think as fast as Georgia Southern gets turned around, I think this is going to be a situation where I said this a while back that they could win at least 8 games. I'm starting to think it's probably going to be more than that. I think it's a possibility it's going to be more than that. the UAB, which UAB is actually interesting because there's just word that Raynard Ellis, the former Georgia Southern Eagle, has transferred to UAB. So that's interesting. UAB is a pretty good program, and that's going to be a tough game. So we do play UAB, and we play Nebraska. We play Ball State. I know those like the first games that I know of. We got all the conference games coming in, and I think with James Madison and you got Marshall and all of them coming. I think they're coming in this season, so we may have some of them guys on the schedule. I'm not sure, but it's going to be a very fun season in the Sun Belt. If those guys are coming in, and Georgia Southern with this big turnaround, it's going to be really, really fun to see. I think they're going to jump from 3-9 to probably dare I say maybe 9-3, maybe 10-2. I mean, it's possible, man. You look at this team and the way they're set up, and I'm not trying to hype them, but this team just already looks 10 times better than they did last year. They already look 10 times better. The players that was here last year look like they're ready to go. So I can't wait to see how this plays out. I'm pretty much ready to see how this goes, and hopefully that it all plays out the way it would. It just looks like that Coach Helton and company is really, really ready to get this going. As far as the Falcons go, the Falcons just need to get the right personnel in here and get those guys ready to go, because with what they don't have a very bad team. They don't have a team that's just not as good. And you get a few players here and there, I think that will change. And we'll see how that all plays out. So we'll see how it goes. That's going to be the end of episode 268 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I'm VF Baller. Over here we talk about Georgia Southern football and Atlanta Falcons football. How fast both teams can turn this around. I'm going to give you a final verdict real quick. I think Atlanta probably have another year under their belt to do so. Even if they knock it out of the park, you still got a lot of competition in the NFL. I think they will get better but what I mean by turning around for the Falcons, for them to be, 11, 12, 10 win team season type of team. So I think they're going to have another year under their belt to try to work that out. But that doesn't mean they can't have a successful season next year. But to have that type of consistency, probably going to be another year before they get everything together. As far as Georgia Southern, those guys move so fast. You look at what they're doing with the recruiting. 49 states, 49 counties in the state of Georgia already. They're trying to get all the talent out of the state of Georgia that they can to continue to build what Georgia Southern already have. And I think that they're already turning it around. I just need to see it on the field. And these guys could probably be having double-digit wins within, starting next year. That's just my opinion. And the way that it's set up, it's like it's set up for it. The only thing that they could do is hurt themselves at this point. But we got a lot of time until the season starts. But it looks like that's going to be the case, in my opinion. I am a little bit biased. All right, y'all. I will see you guys on the next one. Like, subscribe, and share. If you don't mind, on the YouTube side, give me 5 stars on the podcast avenue, and subscribe over there and let people know what I'm doing over there as well. All right, y'all. I'll see you guys on the next one. You guys have a great morning. You guys be blessed. All right, y'all. Peace.